Welcome back to the Pioneer Sideline, episode 134 coming at you. This is the case of the week right now. We're going to go right into it. John Bursick off to my right, Natalie Simon, and Kelly Reed to my left. And guys and gals, I should say, we want to talk a little bit of hockey. So let me set the stage for you. Your general manager, Ray Shero. You got the best player in the world, Sidney Crosby, out right now. Not sure of his status, don't know what's going on. Now I want to ask you, what do you do with Sidney Crosby? He has his no trade clause kicking in come July. Do you wait, try and sign him? You don't know if he's ever going to play again maybe? Or do you maybe trade him and try and bring in some players to help you out? We'll start with Kelly.
Well, I do think that he's going to play again, so we'll start off with that. But my stance is, I do believe that Ray Shero will make the right decision. In the past, with other trade deadlines, he has taken low-risk moves, so I don't think that trading such a player as Sidney Crosby, that's a high-risk situation there, and that's not something that Ray Shero is known to do.
Is the best player in the world, and John, how do you feel about this whole situation with Crosby, on hiatus?
Well, honestly, first I just want to say, I think the Marian Hossa trade was kind of high risk. So I just want to dispute that right off the bat. But the way that I feel about Sidney Crosby, I do think he's the best player in the world. I do think that he's going to play again, but I just don't know to what capacity. And I'm not looking at the trade deadline when I say this. I'm looking at as soon as the season ends for the Penguins, before the January 1st free agency period starts, because Sidney Crosby will be in the last year of his contract this upcoming year, and he will have a no-trade clause. The Penguins have already come out and formally said that he is their number one signing priority, despite the fact that James Neal his contract is up at the end of this season and not next season like Crosby's. In my personal opinion, it really all depends on what we see Crosby do. If he comes back, before the playoffs and is able to play for the rest of the season, including the playoffs, then I feel comfortable signing Crosby to a long-term deal and locking him up. But what I think we're going to see happen is Sidney Crosby coming back for the playoffs, maybe, if not for the end of the season, or for the rest of the season. And in my opinion, that means that we should trade Sidney Crosby. I think you give him a deal, you give him a really short contract deal, and if he doesn't sign it, then you trade him to somebody else because he's too big a liability. We're talking about a guy that's going to want $9.5 to $10 million a year, who's going to want a long, maybe 10-year contract, and it's just not worth it. It's not worth it for the team in the long run.
Natalie, trade Crosby, is that blasphemy? Are we hearing this right?
It might be. I would have to say that I'm going to have to go with giving him the opportunity to have a high salary, short-term contract, only because if you're tying him down to a 10-year contract, like you said, what if he retires in 2 years? What if he can't play? You don't want to have to keep paying him for years and years when he's retired. I don't know. I think they want to make him a Penguin for life, but at the same time, this is a business, and Crosby, he's mature enough and he's professional enough to understand that and, give it a try with the shorter-term contract, but if that doesn't work, so be it. It's business.
See, but I don't know. I agree with you in the sense that that's what I would offer him at this point. But I don't think that Crosby is going to accept a deal like that. I think that Crosby wants to stay with the Penguins long term. I think that he wants the money because he's a smart guy. I mean, Sidney Crosby is probably one of the nicest guys in the world, but he's not stupid. If he can lock somebody up long term, if he can lock up a long-term contract and make a lot of money, then that's what he's going to try and do. I don't think that he's going to take a long-term deal. I think he's going to want a short-term deal. I think he's going to want the long one, and I just don't think that that's smart for the Penguins as an organization.
You say Sidney Crosby's not stupid, but then you dispute that. I mean, Sidney Crosby knows he has concussion-like symptoms. He knows he's been a liability to the team right now. He's obviously going to take that in consideration with his agent to work with the Penguins and develop a contract that's suitable and pleases both him and the Penguins. Ray Shero has stated in the past that he wants Crosby to be a Penguin for life. So,
all right, I gotta cut you guys off there. We gotta go. I'm gonna award the bet Kelly holding defense, and also the insider for us. We're gonna take it. We gotta actually go. It's turning next week. We got highlights, analysis, everything there. Another Candidates of the week. We'll be back next week. Same Pioneer time, same Pioneer channel.
I thought we were at 20 the whole time.